the project that we did because I wanted to raise awareness and kind of talk about the stigma surrounding body image and eating disorders. And also for personal reasons, I think it was really important that I like research this and like find a community and also enrich my community and spread positivity, which was like the main goal of our project.
Okay,
Sydney?
so I chose this project because I know that not everything on social media is real, or you shouldn't believe everything you see on social media, but yet I know people still compare themselves to like people they see, even though they know it's like a good day for them, or like celebrities if they have like people doing their own hair and makeup. And I chose this because I think it's important because I feel like most people think it, but they don't really talk about it. And if most people don't talk about it, you may think that you're like the only person who thinks about this or compares themselves to other people from social media. But in fact, you're not the only one who thinks this.
Okay, so for my content, I chose to share about two pieces of content that I did, and we also collaborated with a previous fellow, Adina Kurzban, who created a website called Your Body, Your Image for her project, and so we got to share our content on her website and her Instagram, and so one the first thing that I did was I reached out to a friend because I thought it was important that I like get other perspectives other than my own, and I reached out to someone who I knew had struggled with this, and we've had conversations and we kind of planned it, and they sent me their final product, and then it went onto the website. And then the next thing I wanted to share about was mirror messages. So I went around my school one day and put like little sticky notes with like positive messages, like, and some like were about like everybody is beautiful, and then some were kind of like I wanted to not even focus on bodies and just say like your mind is beautiful, like it doesn't matter what you look like, because I think like having mirrors all around the bathroom very much encouraged the thought for young girls like, oh, your body is what matters. And then I wrote about what I did, and it made me feel very good, spreading positivity. And then I shared it to the website.
So, quickly explain I made this Google form called Influences of Social Media, and I wrote down some questions and I sent it to people I knew and the Koleinu group, and then I got results. And I made sure the Google form was anonymous because I feel like if it wasn't anonymous and I can see who chose what, it would have been very different. And since it was anonymous, people answered truthfully. And when I was looking at all the information, I noticed a pattern that people agreed with the same questions and how they look at social media and their body.
And finally, when reflecting on this, we both experience like personal gratification and personal growth on like perspectives and experiences. And we also noticed like we wanted to help the community, which I believe we achieved that goal by making content and putting it out there for young people to read.
And that you're not the only person who would think this. Everyone else thinks it too. It's just not as talked about as certain other things.
Finally, thank you to our fellow members, our mentors, Sue Biller and Moving Traditions, and that is the website, and there's also an Instagram with the same handle.
Awesome. Thank you, Sydney and Dahlia. Amazing. Simone, L, Miriam, and Emma are next.
Hi, I'm Emma Green, and I did my project with Elle, Simone, and Miriam. And we did our project. It's a podcast called Group Chat. And it's about like sexual harassment, sexual assault, casual misogyny, Me Too movement. And we just wanted to open the conversation and try to destigmatize the issues. So we created this podcast to talk with each other and professionals. I think my other group members are going to share a few words.
There you go. Okay. One reason I was interested and still am interested in this topic is because it's a very big issue, and I think it's important to share ideas and knowledge with the world. And throughout this project, I learned that I'm not the only one that's interested, and we're all passionate about sharing ideas about this subject.
I just really wanted to thank our leader, Kate, who not only helped us come up with ideas for our podcast and help us really think about the words that we use, but she also, for one of the episodes, was participated, and she talked a lot about her work. And so that was really interesting, learning more about her and about how she falls into that area and that topic.
So it says unmute. Can you hear me? Okay, thank you. So this was not our original idea, but we really wanted to create something that was, first of all, possible for us to create, but also something that we could share with others, and that was very tangible. And I think we talked about this in our podcast, but this was something we could all relate to. I mean, thankfully, I and other people have not experienced like terrible sexual assault, but we all talked about how we experienced like casual misogyny in school through dress codes or teachers. And so it was really just something we could all relate to really well.
All right, I'm going to share an excerpt from the podcast. So, Dad, what's your password? For your computer.
Oh.
Equal, like the school dress code. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, when I went to a Jewish school before, and I know Miriam, you do too, so you can probably talk about that. But the dress code was like crazy strict for girls, like it like the no shoulders thing and the no tight clothes thing. Do you want to talk about that?
I remember that we always, if we wanted to wear tank tops, it had to be, I think it was 4 fingers. We had to put 4 fingers like on our shoulders.
Like a bro tank.
I know, nobody's gonna wear that.
Our skirts
You really think like
go down to our knees if we wanted to wear skirts. And it couldn't be like, we couldn't wear like tight clothing. And I remember in like 4th or 5th grade, like one of the boys was wearing a tank top, and it was definitely less than 4 fingers, but nobody cared because it was a boy.
And one time I was around that age, and my teacher, I was wearing biker shorts, and my teacher took me aside and was like, you can't wear those anymore. And I was like, damn, I'm like 11. But yeah.
Like, let's stop sexualizing 11-year-olds.
Exactly.
Yeah, and like I'm a public school at a public school, so the rules are pretty loose. But like when we were in sixth grade, like it was just a big transition, and so we were like now aware of a dress code because like we were getting older, and they were like, yeah, like you can't wear spaghetti straps, and you have to have your shorts have to go down to your fingertips, and like I know like boys wear like much different clothing than us, and I don't know, but like there's no restrictions for them, and which is not fair. And then I came to school one day with like a shirt that was like cut down the sleeve so you could see my full arm. And this boy like is like, oh, like you're breaking the dress code. And I was like, since when did you give a shit about what I wear? Like, and why do you even care? You're not a teacher.
I've also like heard about people like there are girls who will get dress coded for wearing the same thing as another girl because of their body type, you know,
Yeah.
and one will get dress coded and the other one won't. And that's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah, earlier this
itself.
year at my school, someone who's really tall and has long legs was wearing ripped jeans, and the rips were above the knees. And then there were so many other girls who were also wearing ripped jeans with rips above the knees, but there was only one or two girls who got dress coded for the jeans, and they were all girls, so it wasn't like sexist that time, but it was just because of their body type. It's not.
All right. That was our podcast. Yep.
Awesome. Thank you. That was amazing. And I highly recommend everybody listen to all of it. Can you put a link in the chat, please, podcasters? And next up, we have Jules and Gab. Tal, I don't think has made it yet, but Jules and Gab, go for it.
Yeah, so I'll share my screen. But so I'm Jules, of course, and Gab and Tal were my partners. Tal couldn't make it, but they, along with Gab, were both fantastic partners, and Haley was an amazing mentor. She narrowed us down. She was able to focus our very ambitious thoughts without actually but she actually allowed us to have freedom and allowed us to make it our own and make our own project. And for our project, we made a website primarily for educators with resources for how to make school more inclusive and curriculum more inclusive and representative of gender minorities. And we also have some resources for students as well. And Gab, if you'd like, you can talk more about the website more in depth.
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to like echo what Jules said about the people who were in my group and who did such a great job being part of a group and coming together to make this project. And to give a special thanks to Haley, who really like made this a reality when I think none of us kind of had really thought about it in such a like concrete way before. That was like what really allowed us to get it done. So our final project is in the form of a website, and we designed it on a drag and drop style website, and we talked to a lot of educators and peers, people involved in education and that sort of thing, to accumulate resources that would allow us to share this on this site that can be accessible for many, many people. Like Jules said, it is more geared towards educators, but anyone can use it. And if you go through the site, we have like a basic homepage, and we have an about page where each of us just basic about, and then we also have our reflections, which were things that we wrote about how like why we were really trying to do this. And like I'm not gonna say the whole thing right now, but it was just for me, it was really mostly about wanting to create what I wanted when I was, growing up in school for other people. And then if we go to the resources tab, we divided it up by subjects and grade levels. And then we also have guides, which were handwritten by us about kind of how to approach these topics and bring them up, which we thought would be really helpful just from our personal experiences as students, gender minorities, and that sort of thing, and a contact page for anyone who needs help, because we're happy to help. So yeah.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Jules and Gab. What a phenomenal resource. I know I work with a lot of teachers and I cannot wait to share this with them. Thank you for that work. And next, we've got Dahlia and Sadie and Sarah, who I don't think is here, but go on, amazing fellows.
Hi, my name is Dahlia.
And I'm Sadie.
And we have another partner named Sarah, but she isn't here today. So we kind of came together all thinking about body image like a lot of other groups, but specifically we were thinking about bras and breasts and how we have a hard time seeing images in the media about breasts and bras, and we feel like we're sort of being fed information that doesn't feel authentic and real, and makes our peers kind of feel scared to talk about bras and breasts, and also doesn't allow for us to feel really supported, both in the we wear bras so that our breasts can be supported, but also supported by the world in feeling good about having breasts. And so we were kind of talking a lot about bra fittings and how much having the right size and making sure that your bras fit you and that you feel confident in your bras is so important to us. And we were talking about how much our ideas about what's important when looking for a bra is in complete contrast to the way that bras are approached by advertising and media and big companies like Victoria's Secret, and just how the images that are served to us are all about how bras should be sexy and it's about pleasing someone else, and it's not at all about feeling confident in who you are and the way that you are existing in the world. So after we sort of talked about that, we met with our amazing mentor, Maya, who I don't think she's here today, but she really helped us sort of narrow down how we wanted to approach talking about it and doing anything about it.
Yeah, so initially we were sort of thinking about some way to approach corporations and kind of ask them to give us better representation as bra wearers in the community, to have better goals of giving people confidence and instead of hypersexualizing. And so we instead decided that a better thing to do would be to give ourselves a resource to express the way that we feel about ourselves in bras in the industry. So we are in the process of creating a documentary where we've interviewed people discussing how they feel about the bra industry and their own confidence and how that's impacted them, in order to kind of give people an avenue to understand that they're not alone in their confidence issues, and that there are people like us who also feel it's important to make change in this industry. And so we have not finished it yet, but we're in the editing process, and we will definitely let you guys know when that's finalized, because it has a lot of potential and we know that it's going to be something a really great resource that people can use.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dahlia and Sadie. I can't wait for that documentary. And our last group is Sophie and Leah. Last but definitely not least, I love this project. Go ahead, Leah and Sophie.
Okay, so I'm Sophie, and
Yeah.
okay, so basically we first got paired together because we were both really interested in kind of the idea of like women being silenced. I feel like, especially like, I mean, throughout history and just like recently, women really haven't been able to like get their voices out and say how they're feeling, and their opinions are silenced. So we kind of went back and forth trying to decide like if we should create some type of social media page or a website. But we kind of, through the help of our mentor Shayna, we kind of decided on the idea of creating some type of like really interactive space, but we also but we wanted it to be a little more creative than just like texting. So we decided to create a Slack channel, which Leah will talk more about now.
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen and hopefully this works. So we wanted to create, I'm getting it up on we wanted to create an environment that was like kind of exclusive in the sense that not everyone could join it. Everyone in Koleinu could. I don't know. I think it's not sharing. Let me see if I can, if I share the link, I don't think everyone can see it because like you have to have a certain code to get in.
Yeah, try again now. I just
like
try one more time because I just enabled you to share.
It's like allowing me to share, but it won't, the tab like won't pop up for me to share. Dana, do you have the Slack channel on your computer at all?
Let me see.
I have this tab, but like I can try sending the link, but I don't think people are gonna be able to see it. But we wanted to do Slack, so you had to be invited to get in. You could make your name anonymous because our goal was for people to have an environment that they felt comfortable that they could speak in, because we know not everyone is fortunate enough to have a home life where they feel like super open to talk to like their parents or just their friends or just people in their school in general. We wanted to at least give everyone the opportunity to have one place where they could say whatever they wanted freely and create relationships. And like originally we didn't know exactly like how we wanted to take it, and like unfortunately I can't share right now, but we have different like sections of the channel. So we have a current events section, so someone could just like talk about something that's going on in the world and whether that like bothers them or something, because sometimes people can't talk about that stuff in their home life because they feel like they might be judged or think something is being dramatic about something that's going on in the world. We also have like a fun zone where it's like you can just send like a fun picture or something like that. And then we have like a Koleinu general where you can send like information about like there's a march happening or a protest, which people have done. And this is like extra special now that the retreat happened because we all formed such amazing connections. And this is another opportunity for people to just be able to stay in touch even more and keep this connection. And it's going to be like an ongoing thing. Like right now we don't like plan on just like ending it, and like we hope people will continue to use it and we'll continue pushing it out more, and we think people will like end up using it even more now that we won't have our monthly Koleinu meetings. And you know, when people are thinking about it or like they miss someone, they could always just write in the channel, or if they have information about anything, they can always write in the channel. We just want to make sure everyone feels like they have a welcoming space and they can really just
talk freely about anything. And we really want to thank Shayna for helping us decide like what platform we wanted to use and help us brainstorm like if we're using social media or not, and help us come up with Slack and guiding us and keep giving us updates and reminding us to work on everything. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. And a round of applause for everybody's projects. And we're going to take a quick minute. We wanted to make just like a little fun yearbook for everybody to just take some notes. So I've just pulled up a whiteboard, and anybody can make any notes to any of the fellows, anything that inspired you, I'll put on some music. We'll take about a minute and a half. Any shout outs for these amazing projects?
I can't believe all of the things they say about me. Walk in the room, they